What were your thoughts on Ivy?
Ivy, a little bit mixed with Ivy.
Give it
Ivy
to me.
in the pro AM was dogging, dominant. You know what I'm saying? In this gym, I felt like they challenged him a little bit when it comes to ball handling. Something I want to see him continue to work on and get a little bit better. But at the same
Hmm.
time, um, the athleticism is just it's something that's going to make things a lot easier for him when he's running the floor. I like Ivy running the floor, me
Hmm.
personally. Um, it frees him up. It makes him unguardable simply because of that athleticism.
Yep.
So you seen like little pesky guys trying to poke at the ball and things like that, which get frustrated him. Is the same. It's just the same.
Hmm.
Um, but like I said, it's gym ball.
Right.
So I'm not going to read too much into that. Once we get into training camp, once we get into preseason, then I'll say, okay, now I see what he worked on this summer and
Right.
things like that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really get an opportunity to see him shoot too many jump shots. We were limited when it comes to the clips.
Right.
So, from what I saw, I was pretty cool with that.
I was too. I think Ivy is going through an adjustment period.
Hmm.
Because he's used to having the ball in his hands.
Right.
And we expected his first season to be that of getting adjusted to not having the ball in his hands as much because we thought Kate was going to be there the whole season, right? But we
Right.
saw he still had to have the ball in his hands because Kate went down at the beginning of the year. So
Yep.
this is an adjustment period for him. He needs to learn. And you saw in the Rico Hines run, the ball was predominantly in Kate's hands.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
think that's what's going to be what happens. And I think that's what needs to happen when the
Right.
season starts, right? I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Um, I think Ivy he's pressing a little bit. I think he's pressing a little bit. He needs
There
to
you
just take his time and let the game come to him and use his team.
go. Hmm.
He has a team now. He has options now. He has weapons around him. There was one time I think where I saw a play where someone said, "Swing it, swing it, swing it," and he pushed it to the basket. And I don't think he converted on that one. So it's just gonna take him time, but I definitely think it can work. Like you think about this when you think about Cade and Ivy, think about Chris Paul, a bigger Chris Paul, playing with a Russell Westbrook who can shoot better than Russell Westbrook.
Right. Right.
That's what I envision long term for this team. Russ is not a great shooter, not a great decision maker, but he played point guard. He
Hmm.
didn't have a Chris Paul type of guard to orchestrate the offense to put him in the best spots to be successful. So he would
Yeah.
often have to force it. I think after as they continue to play more and more together, Ivy's going to get better and better because the load is not going to be on him as I think he is used to it being,
Hmm.
and that's going to make life so much easier for him. And his jumper looked pretty good, man.
Yeah.
His jumper looked pretty good. I'm not saying he's a dead eye shooter yet. He may not ever be a dead eye shooter, probably not, and that's okay. But he was knocking it down when he was open
Right.
more times than not. So if he can clearly understand what his role is going to be and not feel like he has to always be the one to make the play, I think he's going to be just fine because he has all the tools there.
So Ivy's in a better situation this season. You look at last season with him and Killian playing a 1 and 2.
Hmm.
You have to understand that those guys were not able to get to the basketball rim as they should have been. And that
Yeah,
was simply because of the personnel that was out there on the floor.
facts.
Well, this season, it opens up things where Ivy should be able to get through more lanes and get to the basket on a regular. And it's going to help him out a whole lot, where he'll be able to attack from multiple angles, man. Because, like I said, when a big doesn't have to commit to nobody and he's just sitting roaming around in that paint, it makes everything harder for guards, and we've seen that all
Yep.
last season. So with our roster being healthy now, with Cade on the floor, but along with everybody else being on the floor and available, it's gonna make things a lot easier. Which is, I think, that's where Ivy will say, okay, I can pick my spots. I
Yep.
can take my time. I don't have to try to force it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't have to force this. So
Right.
that's where it gets better for him.
Jaden Ivey on the wing, kick that booty ride. Electrifying through the air, a Detroit shot. And it doesn't really matter if you love him, like him, hate him. That boy is born